And if I told you once, I ain't gonna tell you twice. Salute all my real ones. Yeah, look, bro, we got one step closer to real warp drives. If you don't know what a warp drive is, apparently you didn't watch the obligatory episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. Long story short, the speed limit of the universe is the speed of light. Nothing in the universe can go faster than the speed of light if you have mass. So literally every particle in the universe except for photons, which is light, has mass. So basically it's impossible for anything other than light to go at the speed of light, because for every bit of mass that you have, you need the same amount of energy, and the more energy that you're carrying, the more mass you have, the more energy that you have, and on and on and on and on. And basically, if you try to go to the speed of light, you're gonna need infinite mass, which is basically the whole universe. Got it. Warp drives. Yo, I can't believe I know this shit. Warp drives, what it doesn't break the laws of physics. All it's saying is that instead of propelling you, it's gonna warp the space around you. So it's gonna warp and contract the space that's in front of you, and it's gonna expand the space behind you. Warp drive. There we go. Yo, what video was it that I saw that broke that down? But anyway, I hope I broke that down, and if I got it messed up, slander me in the comment sections. Before we get into the video, like button, subscribe button, notification bell, press those, let's go!
According to the laws of physics, nothing can travel faster than the speed of light.
I said that already.
Which is a bummer, because that means there's stuff in space we will never get to visit. So scientists,
like everything beyond the observable universe,
have always looked for loopholes to that rule. A proposed one is a theoretical Star Trek-like warp drive that lets you go faster than light without actually moving faster than light. This is a weird exception that's always been mathematically possible, but physically impossible. But we could now be one small step closer. You see, the rule about not going faster than light only applies to things with mass, which is most things that we know of, but the rule does not apply to space that is surrounding an object, since space does not have mass. Einstein's theory of general relativity tells us that space can be stretched, distorted, or warped. A way to warp space is with extreme gravity, caused by things like planets, stars, and black holes. And gravity can hugely distort and warp space like stretched rubber. But this is a problem for building like a spaceship that runs on warped space. Warping something with the gravity of a black hole would just, tear the ship to shreds. So in 1994, physicist Miguel Alcubierre hypothesized a way to cheat this system. The trick in his model was to use huge masses to make a bubble of warp space surrounding a patch of normal unwarped space. So you could put a spaceship inside and it would reach.
See, like, mind you, I'm a fan. That's why I react to a lot of these types of videos. This is why I don't get, right? They talk about the fabric of space, right? So technically, even now, this goddamn green screen, I'll shut this whole shit. What I don't get is that we exist in space. Like, even right now, like, space is all around you, and they talk about you can warp it, but it's like, how can you warp something that you can't grab? Like I guess what I'm trying to say is define space, like, cause right, I know there's oxygen in the room, and I'm here chilling, you know what I'm saying? There's like 3 bad bitches. That's beside the point. Focus. But you can't grab space, right? Like, so how do you warp something that you can't get a hold? You can't I could warp a blanket, like, because they always use the whole blanket experiment to try to show what space is. But it's like, how do you warp something that you can't physically touch or grab or see.
Reach a faraway location faster than light would without getting all warped and shredded to pieces. And theoretically, this shouldn't break any physical laws, because the spaceship itself would not move faster than light. It's the space around it doing the heavy lifting, all of which should be allowed. But designing the warp bubble was only the first step. The next step was to work out how much and what kind of masses you would need to warp the space-time fabric to make the bubble. Turns out, you would need more mass than currently exists in the visible universe, which is, a lot, but it gets worse than that. The whole bucket of mass also needs to be negative mass. And if these negative masses were to exist, which is all speculative, they would, violate physics law, like Newton's second law of motion, which says that something will accelerate in the same direction as the net force applied. If you push something with negative mass, it won't move away from you, it will move towards you. That's what we mean when we say it breaks physics law. So warp drives were sort of stuck because, as far as we know, negative masses do not exist in the natural world. But another important step came in 2021, when researcher Eric Lentz published a study claiming to have solved the negative mass problem. He proposed a theoretical model using only normal positive mass to get the same effect as Alcubierre's.
Hold on. In Star Trek, they use antimatter. They laid out the blueprint. Just grab some antimatter, throw it in a big glass tube, fire up the rockets, we out. You know what I'm saying? Wherever the Borg are, take me to them. I'll conquer them all.
Original idea, inspired by a kind of self-sustaining wave in nature called a soliton, which moves while maintaining its shape.
Wait, what? Did he just say? Inspired by a kind of self-sustaining wave in nature called a soliton. Never heard.
Shape and velocity. He tested multiple configurations using positive masses and found that by arranging masses into the shape of a polygon, it warped the space into a moving bubble, which could be around an unwarped patch of space, just like in Alcubierre's version. This polygon shape also placed the gigantic masses around the ship to avoid crushing the interior. So the negative mass problem seems to have been solved. In theory, mathematically anyway. But we are still left with the problem of using more mass available than in the visible universe to make the warp drive work. Thankfully, Lentz's new idea needs only a couple hundred times the mass of Jupiter to make this hypothetical warp drive work. So, not the mass of the whole universe, but we will still need to keep bringing that amount down to avoid a pretty hefty gas bill on the spaceship. Other scientists, though, have argued that there is another big problem with warp drives. Researchers have only shown how to theoretically construct the warp bubble. They didn't actually say how to accelerate it to faster than light speeds. Because if something like a spaceship is moving slower than light speed, then according to Einstein's theory of relativity, it's impossible to accelerate it to faster than light speeds. The whole point of the warp drive is that it's meant to avoid this problem, but some researchers have argued that the rule still applies to the warped space around the spaceship, putting us back at square one. For an idea that's always been thought impossible, that's not bad progress. Just don't go looking for a weekend getaway to Alpha Centauri just yet. But an idea that is possible is learning about different science topics from home using programs
Nope, we're not doing that, buddy. But I appreciate the video, though. And I'm going to give you the thumbs up. Let's do it. Quick thumbs up. There you go. But yeah, man. That sucks, because you basically shot down the fact that there's probably not going to be warp drives anytime soon. So light sails it is. But that's another video. Yeah, man, let me know what y'all thought of the video. Is this something y'all interested in watching? Because I react to all these science videos all day. Astronomy, specifically. Miss me with biology. Unless we're talking about busted challenges and silhouette challenges. I watch those all day, too. Matter of fact, I need to like button, subscribe. I already did that. My name is Rain. Catch you on the flip side. RCP salute. Busted challenge. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Wait, we still record. My fault, bro. My fault. Looking thicker than cold peanut butter.